The first thing you do in the morning isn't small. It's shaping your entire day and you don't even notice it. If your mind already feels full before your feet hit the floor, you're not failing. You're just carrying invisible weight the moment you wake up. Mental clutter, background stress, open loops, all fighting for your attention before you've even had a chance to breathe. I'm Marcus Voss, a strategist for focus and mental clarity. I help high-performing but overwhelmed minds finally slow down by creating systems that clear space, sharpen intention, and unlock clarity without the noise. This isn't about hacks or hustle. It's about mental design that works. Because real clarity doesn't come from trying to remember everything. It comes from learning how to release the mind before it gets hijacked by the day. Let me show you how. What you call mental fatigue is often just mental overload, and most of it isn't even yours. You are not unfocused. You are carrying too many unspoken thoughts, unprocessed worries, and unmade decisions before your day even begins. From the moment you wake up, your mind is flooded. To-do lists you haven't written, conversations still echoing from yesterday, expectations waiting at the edge of your awareness. And yet you try to jump straight into action without clearing any of that mental noise. It's like trying to run with your shoelaces tied together, then blaming your legs for being slow. The truth is, your mind isn't lazy, it's overloaded. You've been starting your days in reaction mode, not creation mode. And the cost is silent but heavy. Scattered thoughts, low motivation, emotional exhaustion before noon. And this doesn't just steal your focus, it erodes your self-trust. You start to believe the story that you're not a disciplined person, when in reality you're just missing a mental reset. Until you learn to clear your internal space before the world fills it for you, you'll keep feeling behind before the day even starts. But there's a better way. A 5-minute shift that can change the way your entire system wakes up. Let's get into it. You keep waking up with the best intentions, but somehow, before the day even begins, your mind already feels crowded. And by the time you try to focus, it's like you're pushing through fog. Not because you're weak or lazy, but because your mind is already full before you've even started. If you've ever thought, I haven't done anything yet, so why do I already feel behind? You're not alone. You wake up, check your phone, and within seconds you're bombarded. Messages, alerts, noise. Your brain doesn't get a moment to breathe. You try to start your day, but instead of clarity, you're met with scattered thoughts, half-finished plans, and invisible pressure. You write goals, but forget where you wrote them. You have ideas, but lose them before they land. You sit down to work, but waste your best energy trying to remember what mattered. So you improvise, react. You bounce from one thing to another, hoping that clarity will eventually arrive, but it doesn't. And then comes the guilt, the self-talk. Why can't I just get it together? You end the day drained, not from doing too much, but from holding too much in your mind. This isn't a time management problem. It's not even an attention problem. It's a structural problem. Your mind was never meant to hold everything. It was meant to process, create, and direct. But instead, it's been used like a mental storage unit, filled with open loops, unspoken thoughts, and background noise you never consciously invited. No rituals, no visual clarity, no space to offload the weight. So you carry it all, until your clarity collapses under the pressure. You don't need to force yourself harder. You need a daily system that resets your mind before the world takes over. A way to release what's inside and organize what matters, visibly, gently, and predictably. Because when your system is broken, discipline will always feel like a fight. Let's go deeper and look at the hidden mechanism in your brain that explains why this cycle keeps repeating and how to finally interrupt it. Let's get one thing straight. Your brain isn't lazy. It's efficient. Ruthlessly efficient. It was designed to conserve energy, not waste it on uncertainty. So when your mind feels foggy, scattered, or resistant, it's not because you lack drive. It's because your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Avoid effort, seek clarity. Repeat what feels safe. Your limbic system, the emotional command center, is constantly scanning for immediate comfort. That's why your hand goes to your phone instead of your journal. Why you open email before thinking. Why writing your thoughts down feels harder than just holding them in, even when you know it's hurting you. These are not failures of discipline. They're default patterns, reinforced by repetition. Every time you choose mental clutter over clarity, that loop strengthens. But here's the twist. Every time you choose differently, that loop strengthens too. Imagine your brain like a field of tall grass. The more you walk one path, the clearer and faster it becomes. If every morning you walk through the weeds, reacting, improvising, avoiding, that becomes your mind's go-to trail. But if you carve a new path, one small intentional step each morning, you create a mental shortcut to clarity. This is where the science gets exciting, because your brain is neuroplastic. It changes, literally rewires itself based on how you use it. Every time you offload your thoughts into a structured visual map, you're not just organizing information, you're training your mind to feel safe in clarity. You're signaling, this space is where I decide, this is where I begin. Focus isn't willpower, it's a trained response to consistent cues. And when your environment supports that training, clarity becomes not just possible, but automatic. So no, you don't need more motivation. You need a morning ritual that makes clarity your baseline, not your exception. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you next. A tool that rewires your mental path before the day begins. Simple, visual, and transformative. Let's build it together. I call this technique the first square. It's not just a space on paper. It's the place where your real day begins. Every morning, before the world enters your mind, you enter this square. It's your ritual, your reset point, your moment to choose clarity over chaos. And here's your 24-hour challenge. Tomorrow morning, before checking your phone, opening your laptop, or speaking to anyone, do this. Sit down in silence with one blank sheet of paper. Draw one square, large enough to fill the page, simple enough to stay clean. Inside that square, answer 3 prompts. What's on my mind right now? Dump the noise. What matters most today? Name one thing. What will I do first and when? Make it specific. Nothing fancy, no colors, no perfect handwriting, no apps. Just you, a pen, and the space you create for clarity. This is not a to-do list. It's a mind map of the present moment, a ritual of externalization that clears the fog and opens a path forward. Why does it work? Because your brain is constantly seeking signals. And when you give it a predictable space, a simple structure, and a visual boundary, it shifts gears from reactive to intentional, from scattered to centered, from overload to order. Over time, this act becomes more than a habit. It becomes a neurological anchor. Each repetition carves a new trail in the mental field. You teach your brain, this is where I begin. This is where I choose what matters. This is where I take the lead. You're not doing more, you're doing less, but with precision. No multitasking, no noise, just one action in one space that builds one new identity. And here's the truth. Big shifts never start with giant moves. They begin in small, sacred spaces that no one sees, but that you show up for. So tomorrow, draw that square, write what's real, commit to one thing, and let that first stroke on paper become the first step toward clarity that lasts. Because when you control the first square of the day, you begin to control the rest of it too. Today, you didn't just learn a technique. You redefined how your day begins. You saw that your mind isn't failing you. It's simply overloaded and craving structure. You discovered that clarity doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from creating space. simple, visual, intentional space. And by drawing one square, you made a new decision to lead your day from within, not just react to it from the outside. If you're still here, that already sets you apart. Because you didn't scroll past, you stayed, you listened, you acted, even if only in thought. That's what transformation looks like in the real world. Not loud, not flashy, but steady, structured, and quiet at first. It starts with 5 minutes. One square. One breath of space in a chaotic world. And it builds from there. Now, if something clicked for you today, if you feel the shift beginning, and you're ready to create a system that sustains it, not just for tomorrow, but for the months ahead, and then what comes next is for you. If today's episode showed you that focus is not a personal flaw but the result of a broken system, then you're already one step ahead of the loop you've been stuck in. Change My Mind is not another self-help course. It's a complete cognitive reset, built to rewire how you plan, decide, and follow through. Grounded in neuroscience, designed for real life. If your days feel scattered, if your mind keeps slipping into distraction and exhaustion, this is the framework that helps you take back control. One shift at a time, with structure that adapts to you, not the other way around. The link is in the description, and this program is only available through this channel. Click now to access Change My Mind, and start designing the mental system your life deserves. If this content resonated with you, hit like, share it with someone who needs clarity, and drop a comment below. What's the one habit that steals your focus the most? In the next episode, we will uncover how self-discipline is often built on emotional noise and how to silence the sabotage from within. I'm Marcus Voss, expert in focus, productivity, and mental clarity. And your next chapter starts here.